morning and welcome to another edition of the Bolivar Bullet. Last Friday, Cleveland lost a great man, former Mayor Martin King. Here are a few people to tell us about their memories.
Hi, I'm Billy Nowell, Mayor, City of Cleveland, and I would like to reflect on my close friend Martin King, who we lost this past week. Mr. King was really dear to my heart. I've known him all my life, and I knew him through Delta State and Cleveland. He was mayor for 36 years, and I guess the kindest thing he ever did to me was he asked me to come in and talk to me about running for alderman some 11 years ago, and I was honored that he did, and I did it, and I've never regretted it, and I've loved every minute of serving Cleveland. But I really have to thank the biggest mentor of my life that got me into this is Mayor King, and I will truly miss him and his thoughts, and my thoughts and prayers will always be with him.
My name is Judson Thigpen. I'm the Executive Director of the Cleveland Bolivar County Chamber of Commerce. Having grown up in Cleveland, I remember Mayor King really my whole life. He had a son that was my age, and we grew up together in town. So, like I say, I've known him for all those years. But a lot of good memories of Mayor King. Probably most specifically, and one of the first times I was ever around him in a professional aspect, we hosted the 1996 World Series, Dixie Boys World Series, and I was one of the co-chairs of that event. It was the first of those tournaments that we had done, and really was a lot of work involved, and he really seemed to really appreciate that. But I think Cleveland owes a lot to Mayor King. That during his years as mayor were the years that Cleveland really kind of came into its own, and really kind of showed the rest of the state and the rest of the country that Cleveland's a great place.
I'm Gary Gainspilletti with Gainspilletti Financial Services. And speaking of Martin King, he was just a guy who had a real commanding presence, part of which was probably because he looked like he was about 6'8", and plus Martin had a voice that was it was a deep voice, but it was a real commanding voice, but a great gentleman. But I can always remember him more than anything else for his sense of humor. And I'll just briefly recall one event. Many years ago, we had a group of investors from Mexico that purchased the rice mill in Cleveland. And Martin was making a presentation at KC's restaurant, introducing them that night. And in the course of his presentation, he said, "We're really glad to have you here." He said, "This is the second investment we've had from Mexico in just a few weeks." He said, "We recently acquired a Mexican telephone company called Taco Bell." And it was really funny because the people from Mexico just, I don't know if they caught the humor, but everybody else in the room really got a great laugh out of it. And that's the way Martin was when he met people. He always made them feel welcome.
Now, in law enforcement news, the fourth suspect, Kevin Taylor, was arrested Friday night for the murder of Quentin Dion McKay of Tunica County. In yesterday's press conference, Tunica, Coahoma, Bolivar, Panola, and Washington County sheriffs all discussed the advantage they gained by working together. That's it for today's news. Join us again this Thursday for another edition of the Bolivar Bullet.